There's an old story that enables a very vital question to be asked in our endeavor to reconcile existence and non-existence. And it's that story about the very rich young merchant. He was handsome and virile. We call him Ramesh. Now Ramesh had fallen in love with a beautiful courtesan. Oh, he loved her. He adored her. Every moment of every day and every night, Ramesh thought of his beautiful Chintomani. Now, one evening, with his heart bursting with love and his vital organs throbbing with the longing to be united with her, he decided that he could not wait another moment, and so he set out to visit her. But Chintomani lived on the other side of a very wide river, and it happened at that time that there was a great storm happening. So when Ramesh went down to the riverside to catch the ferry across to the other side, the ferryman refused. The river was up. It was too dangerous to take his boat out. But Ramesh's desire was so great, he could not resist. And knowing that he was a strong swimmer, he dived in to the river to swim across to be with his beautiful Chintomani. But the river was fast flowing, and he was soon carried off down and was almost drowning when he happened to feel a log going by. So he grasped hold of the log and guided it over to the other shore. So dragging the log out of the river, he climbed the embankment to Chintomani's house. But he went from door to door and window to window and found that they were all sealed, locked. There was no way for him to enter, and Chintomani's bedchamber was on the first floor. But as it happened, he felt in the dark of the night that there was a rope hanging from her balcony. So he took this opportunity to climb that rope, thinking Chintomani had left it down for him. So he climbed over the balcony when he entered the chamber and saw in the moonlight his beautiful and beloved Chintomani. He bent over to kiss her, and of course the wetness from the river dripped on her beautiful face and woke her up, and to her great surprise there was Ramesh. Where? How did you get here? How did you climb? When all my doors and windows are locked, Ramesh said, oh, I climbed up the rope that you had left for me. She said, I did not leave any rope for you. So they went over to the balcony, and as the dawn was coming up, they saw that it was a deadly viper snake that had frozen to the side of the balcony. And they were greatly surprised. And then, of course, Chintomani asked, how did you get here? How did you get across the river? And Ramesh related that he had fortunately been able to grab a log. So they went to have a look, and they found that what Ramesh had thought was a log was indeed the body of a dead man who had drowned in the river. Now, of course, Ramesh and Chintomani spent that time together, but after some while, Chintomani said to Ramesh, "Ramesh, my beloved Ramesh, the love that you have for me is too great. I am a courtesan. I am unworthy of the love and devotion that you display to me. This love and devotion should be directed to God." And so she rejected him, sent Ramesh away. Of course, he was broken-hearted. But after some little while, he took his beloved Chintamani's advice, and he sought entry into a monastery, asking to join the order of monks who were there seeking God. He indeed became a great devotee, directing the love that he had for Chintamani to his quest to be united with God. And after some while, he became an exemplary monk. But after some years, one day when Ramesh was walking down the road, he saw a woman walking, her long black hair flowing down her back, and his heart raced. "Chintamani, my beloved Chintamani." And he followed that woman to her doorway. The woman entered the door of her home, and in a moment her husband came to the door where Ramesh, in his monk's robes, was standing. And with great respect, the husband of the woman asked of him, "Honored monk, what is it that you want of my wife?" And Ramesh said, "Oh, it and she reminded me of one that I loved. But please, would you ask your wife to bring to me 2 needles?" Now this request was answered, and when the needles were given to Ramesh, he pressed them in both his eyes, so he was blinded, so that never again he could be deluded. Never again could there be a vestige of desire and illusion in him. Ramesh, it is said, became a great poet, expressing the love that he had through the words of the poetry to the divine or God in the days that followed. So the question that arises from this story is, at first, when there is an object, someone, a person, we call it love. When there is no object, no person, we call it longing. Longing for liberation, longing for enlightenment, longing to know who we are, longing for God. But when the illusion of there being something to be united with, we could say that we become like a supernova. We implode, and in the way of the cosmos, become a black hole. And everything that enters that black hole is consumed. What is this force that we've known as love, we've known as longing, and now we experience when the illusion of there being something to be united to is no longer there. And indeed, we have imploded. We are experiencing the growing vastness, limitlessness, boundlessness of black holeness, you might say. But the question that's asked is, what is this force? First love, then longing, and then now. The growing awareness of our absence of limitations. What is this?